I guess I'm in the hot seat now.
I'll be looking there.
He's fine.
All right. With that, I guess so. Just so we got it, and if I don't know what your editing is going to do, full name and your position here on the '92 car.
My name is Scott Lynch. I guess I'm the guy that just runs around the car to make sure everything's up and running. Help-wise, try to keep the team together and focused, keep everything in line.
Scott, how long have you been with Conrad?
That's debatable. It's a long time. There's been some off time too for me. Very dedicated in the beginning until the mid 2000s. My job took over where I was needed more. It was a little harder for me to do things, but back in '96 when I basically started here after my brother stopped racing, I jumped right over to help Conrad.
And your involvement really started with your brother racing.
Actually, it was kind of you talk about Grant Griesbach, it was kind of the same thing. He mentored my brother also. So I remember towing from Milwaukee to Dousman to, scale the car or set up the car after his car was done. So we worked on his car and then brought my brother's car in and went from there. So
Brothers through with racing, just natural progression with Conrad. What kind of things, or where did you start with this team as far as what position?
Again, fabrication, engines, that stuff always intrigued me. Welding, fabricating, things like that. Mechanically, brakes, power steering, transmissions, differentials, that's all stuff that I've been involved with through my career. So that kind of stuff.
Speaking earlier with Conrad, through all those years and your involvement and the decades that you've been a part of this sport, the transition as far as the cars and the technology, how's that affected as far as what you do?
Well, today's cars are a lot more technical. I mean, you have to almost be an engineer to keep up with everything. I would have to say, I can do the mechanical parts of it, but the engineering part, I'm not up to speed with. Shocks, things like that.
Memorable moments as far as traveling down the road here with Conrad and Lisa and the crew?
The thing I loved the most was going to the end of the year Lake Geneva race. That was always my favorite race. We went there to do what we had to do, but it was more of a relaxed situation. I mean, we went there to win, and we had fun at the same time. Not that we didn't have fun. It was more. We were more focused what we were doing in the weekly thing,
Sure.
Back when I first started with them, when we were in Wales Garage, it was easy for me to get from my job over to the shop. So Conrad and I would meet pretty much, let's just say 6 days a week. So we usually took Fridays off. So, but Monday would be unloading the car. Tuesday, looking at the car and working throughout there, And again, there was 2 cars at times. His son was in that shop too, so there was a lot to do back then.
Most through, I guess, the Conrad Morgan era, most memorable as far as wins or accomplishments that will forever be etched in your mind as I look around at the dozens upon dozens of trophies in the shop?
I got to say the Slinger Nationals was probably the most memorable for me. I will say that all the hard work that everybody put in, if we didn't win, I wanted to know why. And not that you had to win every week, but there's a lot of time put into it, a lot of money put into it, a lot of effort by everybody. And if we didn't win, I kind of wanted to know why.
And switching a little bit, because I'm thinking it's kind of the content we want, which I know this, I think, is vital. Talk to me about your relationship with Conrad, both, I guess, at the track and, of course, outside of the racing aspect.
Well, he's kind of been a father to me, mentor, however you want to say it. He taught me a lot of different things. A lot of them, were positive, as in do it right the first time or don't do it at all. Or if you don't get it right, redo it so it is right, And we did put a lot of that into race cars, you know, even the hauler, the trailer, things like that. I mean, you have to have everything up and running. So you have to do what you have to do, you know. The light goes out in the corner of the shop, guess what? You gotta fix it. Same scenario.
Sure.
He's been a huge mentor in my life throughout the years. I've known him for a long time. He's, like I said, it's more of like a family, him and Lisa, to us, my wife and kids, everything. So, and the team too. I mean, everybody in the team, everybody's first name basis. There's no grudges or anything like that. We're there to accomplish something. So,
Race nights, different scenario when Conrad's got his game face on, and we talked about that when we were sitting down just prior with Conrad. I mean, do you have that same mindset as well when we're at the racetrack? The focus is this car behind you.
well, usually when he's sitting over there thinking about what the car's doing, sitting down, and then he comes running over, then you better be prepared to get back to what he wants done or take care of. I mean, you can look around for anything that's leaking or anything like that, you know, making sure everything's cooling down, things like that, you know, fans, you know, cool the engine down. But other than that, you know, you just kind of wait to see what he wants to do.
We're heading into 2021. By the numbers, we're still roughly saying Conrad's 55th year of racing. He still has many years left, of course, without a doubt. But we'll do the obligatory. Where do you see yourself in 10 years, Scott?
Well, 10 years is a lot that can happen in that fact. You know,
For all of us, yes.
yeah, I hope he could still race. You know, I'll still be behind him, but I, you know, can be. I mean, everybody has families, things like that too. You know, kind of wander away and.
Or on the pontoon boat.
Well, that too, but I'd love to see him win another race or many races. You know, it's always good when that happens, and he's capable of doing it. And I think he's stronger this year than I've seen in the last couple of years since his wreck. Just the things that I noticed, you know, his ability to move around at let's say, you know, I'm not considering him old, but he is aged, you know. I see him getting around a lot better than other people. And you ask other people like Brad Miller or Dennis Prunty, they're going to be racing when they're Conrad's age, and they'll tell you, hell no. They don't want nothing to do with it at that age. So
And here he
kudos
is.
to him.
We
you
have
know,
this guy who's still
plugging away
Yep,
and
kicking ass.
capable of winning, you know.
What do you take your most pleasure in as far as in motorsports and what you do?
Just being a team player, you know, and wanting the ability to win, you know, see what I can add to whatever we're dealing with, you know, as mechanically, you know, when something breaks down, you gotta have to come up with a game plan of how to fix it. So that's where I would come into play.
How do you think the fellow competitors and fans perceive Conrad?
I never looked at that way because it didn't bother me ever, not ever. I knew there was animosity out there between people, competitors and fans in the stands, but that never, because I knew who he was. I dealt with him, I worked with him. None of that ever bothered me. I mean, there could be a day that he'd come in and, you know, something wasn't right or bothering him, or there'd be a day I'd come in and wasn't 100%. So you have that everywhere. You know, even today, you're you know, capable of coming in and interviewing us. Maybe next week you wouldn't want to, you know. It's just
Well,
one
I'll
of
come
those-
back every Sunday, but I know the door will be locked.
No, I just don't go there. This door's open a lot here.
That's fine. Anything you want that we're supposed to be hitting specifically?
You're good.
All right, let's swap out. Scott is great. Conrad's like, damn, my time should have been that fast.